finding out he cheated was the worst thing that could happen to me that night. I was so wrong. The message lit up his phone while he was in the shower. I wasn't the kind of person who snooped. I trusted him. But the screen was right there on the bathroom counter, glowing through the steam, and her name, Vanessa, was one I'd never seen before. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Last night was incredible. My chest tightened. The air felt thicker. I could hear the water running, hear him humming some tune like everything was perfectly normal. I should have grabbed my keys, should have walked out the door and never looked back. But I didn't. I stood there, frozen, staring at that message until the screen went dark. And then I turned toward his bedroom. It was always so neat, obsessively so. The bed made with those perfect hospital corners, books lined up by height on the shelf. Even his shoes were arranged in a straight line by the door. Everything in its place. Everything except the closet. The closet was always a mess. Clothes spilling out, hangers tangled, the door never fully shut. He'd laughed about it once, waving me off when I offered to help organize it. Don't worry about it. I like my chaos contained. I'd never questioned it. Until now. The door creaked when I pulled it open, a low grinding sound that made my skin crawl. Inside, buried under a pile of jackets, I saw something that didn't belong. A notebook, black, leather-bound. My name was written on the cover in his handwriting. My hands were shaking as I picked it up. The leather was cold, smooth, expensive. I flipped it open. March 12th, 11:43 p.m. She fell asleep with the lamp on, the window still unlocked. March 15th, 8 to 17 a.m. She showered for 14 minutes, sang that song again. March 20th, 6:32 p.m. Talked to Daniel outside her office. Laughed twice, touching his arm. Page after page. Dates. Times. Details so specific they made my stomach turn. When I slept, what I ate, where I went, who I spoke to. Months of my life, documented like I was some kind of experiment. I couldn't breathe. The room felt smaller, the walls pressing in. And then I saw the photos, tucked between the pages, printed on glossy paper. Me, sleeping. Different nights, different angles. Some taken from the doorway, others from the foot of the bed. And some, God, some were taken from underneath. But that wasn't the worst part. In every single photo, standing in the background, barely visible in the darkness, was a shape, a silhouette, tall, still, watching. And it wasn't him. The shower had stopped. I didn't hear it happen. I just realized the sound was gone, replaced by a silence so heavy it hurt my ears. I turned to the last page of the notebook, my pulse hammering in my throat. One sentence, scrawled in handwriting that wasn't his. I told him you're mine. A floorboard creaked behind me. I spun around. The hallway was empty. The bathroom, doors still closed. He was still in there. He had to be. So who? The closet door started to swing shut, slowly, deliberately, like someone was pulling it from the inside. I lunged forward and grabbed the edge, my breath coming in short, panicked bursts. I shoved the hanging clothes aside, and that's when I saw it. A door, hidden behind the jackets, small, narrow, built into the back wall of the closet. My hand moved before my brain could stop it. I turned the handle. The door opened into a cramped space, barely big enough to stand in. A single bulb hung from the ceiling, flickering like a dying heartbeat. There was a mattress on the floor, stained, torn, chains bolted to the wall, the metal rusted and old. And in the corner, crumpled into a pile, were clothes I recognized. A purple hoodie, ripped jeans with a patch on the knee. My sister's clothes. The ones she'd been wearing the day she disappeared, 7 years ago. My knees buckled. I grabbed the doorframe to keep from collapsing. "You opened it." I turned, and he was standing there, dripping wet, towel around his waist, but he wasn't looking at me. He was staring past me, into the hidden room. His face was pale, his eyes wide and glassy. "You weren't supposed to open it," he whispered, not angry, not guilty, terrified. "What is this?" My voice cracked. "What the fuck is this?" He didn't answer. His lips were trembling, his hands clenched into fists at his sides. And then I heard it. A voice, soft, familiar, coming from the darkness behind me. "I've been waiting to see you again." My blood turned to ice. It sounded exactly like her, exactly like my sister. But it wasn't. I could feel it in my bones, in the way the air seemed to thicken and rot around the words. "She won't let me leave," he whispered, still staring past me. I tried. The voice came again, closer this time, crawling out of the shadows. "Come here. Let me see you." I stumbled backward, out of the closet, my spine hitting the doorframe. He stepped aside, his eyes empty, defeated. I ran. I didn't call the police. I didn't go back. I moved across the city, found a new apartment, changed my number. I told myself I could forget, that I could move on. But some nights, when I'm lying in bed, halfway between awake and asleep, I hear it. Her voice, whispering through the walls. "Close the door. We're not finished." And I know, deep in the part of me that still remembers what she sounded like when she was alive, she wasn't talking to him. She was talking to me.